studio here in Beersheba, the city founded by Abraham about 3,800 years ago. I'm very happy to be back with you this evening. Come on Haps because I decided to take my family on a really fun trip to the north of Israel. And we went to the Hermon mountain, or in Hebrew, Hermon, in English, Hermon. And we went to the Sea of Galilee in Tiberias and went boating. And we had a lot of fun. Some of you saw the live broadcast I did yesterday here on Haps from the snow in the Hermon mountain. Shalom to you, Hawaiian Brian. Nice to see you here. I see that you are watching on Twitter. Hawaiian Brian, did you get Haps yet? I don't remember if I saw if you downloaded Haps yet and created an account. Hi, Isa Rodriguez, also on Twitter. Nice to see you here. I didn't see you guys if you have accounts on Haps, and I'm still getting used to some of this system here on Haps. Like, for example, I keep forgetting to turn off this donation thing, which I don't know. I think it looks a little bit kind of cheesy. Like, I mean, if I was fundraising, maybe if I'm doing some kind of fundraising for a book project or something, I might want to put it on. There's a way to turn it off. I succeeded in doing it once, but I forgot to do it now. Anyways, hi, Joel Schultz, Schaefer Family Olympics. Joel, I guess you were watching yesterday when I did the live broadcast from the Hermon. The amazing thing is that we live in Beersheba, which is the south of Israel. Those of you who are familiar with the Bible know the expression that occurs several places in the Bible from Dan to Beersheba, with Dan being the northern border of Israel in the biblical times, Dan being at the foot of the Hermon mountain, and Beersheba being the southern border of the biblical Israel in those times. Hi, Midia, nice to see you here. So yesterday we went from Beersheba to Dan and back in the same day and had time to do lots of stuff there. Hi, Sharon V. Thank you for subscribing. Skycheck. So we went from Beersheba to Dan and then from Dan to Beersheba on the same day. It's amazing times that we live in, that we can travel like that. And we went to the top of the Hermon mountain. We went boating all on the same day. So that was really amazing. Now, when I planned it to go with my kids, I actually planned just to spend the whole day at the Hermon because I figured we'll leave Beersheba around 7 o'clock until we get to the Hermon mountain. It'll be about 10:30, 11. And then, they close at 4. So 4 or 5 hours, they'll play in the snow because most of my kids have never seen snow. Or if they have, it's been really a long time since they've seen it, some of the older ones. I thought 4 or 5 hours they'll play in the snow, and then for sure they're going to want, to stay there till the site closes and they kick us out. And then we'll drive home for 3 to 3.5, 4 hours. Maybe stop and grab a bite to eat on the way and get home at 9 or 10 o'clock at night. But instead, after about an hour and a half in the snow, some of my little kids were starting to cry because they got ice in their boots and they were cold. And it was actually quite a warm day. It was about 12 or 13 Celsius. Hi, Cheryl Fraser, another name I recognize from Periscope. Shalom in Connecticut. So we ended up, after about 2 hours, packing it up. We took the cable car back down, and I had a few hours at my disposal for them. And it's a good thing their father's a tour guide because I pulled out a new plan, and we went to Tiberia, or what's known in English as Tiberias, which is the city on the Sea of Galilee, or in Hebrew, the Kinneret. And there, the weather was much warmer because it's a much lower elevation. The Hermon mountain is about 7,000 feet above sea level, with Tiberias being about maybe 600 feet below sea level, which makes a huge difference in weather. So while it was about 12 degrees Celsius atop the Hermon with snow still on the ground, in Tiberias, it was more like 27, 28 degrees Celsius, which is around 80 degrees Fahrenheit. So it was much warmer for them, and they were able to warm up from the snow. And I rented a little boat, and we boated around on the Sea of Galilee and ate some shawarma, which is like grilled meat wrapped up in a big pita with different salads and pickles and things like that, which a lot of my kids haven't had also. And we had a great time. I'm going to show you guys some pictures. I want to show you guys some pictures of what we did yesterday. Let's see how this works. And this is a good opportunity for me to play around with the features of HAPS. Hey, Cynthia, welcome. Excuse me. This is a good opportunity for me to play around with the features of HAPS because I'm not used to this. So here I have the photo on the screen, and then I'm in the corner narrating. We're going to try it out that way. Let's see how this works. So here we are. We went up the cable car. There's a series of cable cars that take you up to the top of Mount Hermon. And you can see in this view, we're looking down towards Israel, towards the rest of Israel, the lower part of Israel, to the direction of the Galilee. And as you see at the bottom, there's no snow, but as you go up, there's more and more snow left as the elevation goes up. Here's where we got to the top, and this is the view that awaited us, which is like a big chunk of snow, a big area with a lot of snow left, where all the people, after weeks of lockdown, who came up to show their kids snow and just get out. But just look in the distance. Can you guys see the pointer? You can see the pointer, right? Look at the Galilee in the distance below us. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, the view is spectacular. And here's the kids that I brought. My older kids, my older boys are in yeshiva, so they're in the dorm. So they didn't get to come with us this time. But I took my wife, Miko, that many of you know from Learn to Read Hebrew in 6 weeks, and my second oldest daughter, Freda. My oldest daughter, Menucha Rachel, is on a kind of what's called shlichut, which is like a Jewish mission work, let's say, in Hungary, teaching first grade children Jewish studies in the Jewish school there in Budapest. So she wasn't there, but my second oldest daughter, Freda, was here. And that's my daughter, Dvora Leah, and my other daughter, Geula, and my son, Yosef Yitzchak, that we call Fitcha. That's his nickname. And that's when we first got there before they got all wet and started to cry about the snow in their boots. Actually, well, I'll tell you about that later. Yeah, they're very beautiful. Thank you, Ista. So here's Freda and Dvora Leah laying down in the snow, getting nice and wet, not really knowing what they're getting themselves into because they're not used to snow. Thank you, Bobby. God bless you. And here's a kind of view down with the Hula Valley here, and what's called Etzba Naphtali, which is the area of the tribe of Naphtali, the mountains of the tribe of Naphtali there in the distance. And here the kids, they made a really miniature snowman. They don't really know what a snowman is. They've just seen pictures of them. So they made a mini one. So to make it look bigger, I told them to go stand some distance and I'll get close to the snowman and then it will look big for them. A little optical illusion. And here you can see they're still having fun. So before I went up, my friend Zev, who was helping me do some work setting up my office, he gifted me a Cuban cigar. So I told him I'll send him a picture smoking it in the snow on the Hermon. So that was the photo I took for my friend Zev of my Cuban cigar on the Hermon. Cuban cigars are legal in Israel, not like in the United States. Hi, Marianne. Nice to see you here too. Another familiar face from the Periscope days. And there's the second view of the cigar. See, that's my element, like off by myself, contemplating. Yeah, short sleeves because it's not really that cold, Isai. Again, it was 12 degrees. You can Google what's 12 degrees in Fahrenheit, but I'm thinking it's like 60 or something, maybe 61, 62. It really wasn't cold. And when you're sitting in the sun, it was actually a bit warm. Snow is melting quite quickly. I don't think there's much snow left today. And there probably won't be unless it snows quite a bit in coming days. And then we're about to take the cable car back down. That's my son Yosef Yitzchak looking at the cable cars passing. And then we went to the Sea of Galilee. About an hour later, 12 degrees Celsius, not Fahrenheit, Isa. Google what's 12 degrees Celsius and Fahrenheit. I think it's maybe like 60 or something like that. When I was in Israel, was the first time it snowed in 40 years. Well, the first time it snowed maybe in the Jerusalem area, or maybe probably the first time it snowed in the area where you were in 40 years, but it snows in Jerusalem usually every 2 or 3 years, and in the Hermon it snows every year. But you may have been like in Tel Aviv, it may have snowed in Tel Aviv or something like that. So just imagine an hour before we were on the Hermon in the snow, and an hour later we went to the Sea of Galilee, and my son Fitche asked if he could jump off the boat in the water. I said, okay, fine. So there he is swimming in the water. Now you're watching via Haps. Brian, welcome. Let me see. Do I follow you on Haps? In Tel Aviv. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's see. I'm already subscribed to you. Okay, you're in Haps already. Guys, you got to get with the program. We're on Haps now. Periscope is, the time is ticking away. There's not much time left for a Periscope. And there the kids are with the city of Tiberias in the distance, sun setting. There's Fitcher again in the water. And then I gave each one of the kids a chance to drive the boat for a couple of minutes when we were out in the open water where it's safe and away from the other boats. It doesn't go very fast. There's Dvoralea driving the boat. And there's the sun setting over Tiberias. Freda driving the boat. You can see it's a pretty dingy looking boat. There's Fitcher driving the boat. And that's back to the beginning. Oh, there's some video clips. Let's see. Is this a video clip? Yeah, let's try this. This is a video clip. Yeah, it was pretty fun. Let's see what this is. Hold on, let me see if I'm sharing sound. How does that work? Tell me if you hear it, guys. Isn't that fun? Look at that. How do I go to the next one? Yeah, Isa, it was a lot of fun. It was really good to get away these after these weeks of lockdown. What is all this? This is because I have a new computer, so it's showing me all this stuff. Okay, let's see. Here's it. Oops. Wrong one. Let me move this to here. Now you should be able to see it. Let's see what this video is. One more. Look at that. We have our first troll of the broadcast. And now he's muted. There we are. All right, now let's see how I go back to this. There we are. Look at that. You reported, thank you, B246. B246, do you still have the store? Byte and Esther. Whack-a-mole, Marianne. Marianne is reminding me of the Do you still have the store Bait and Esther? I'm not sure, B, what you're talking about, Bait and Esther. Maybe it's a autocorrect or something. Congratulations. Thank you, Isa. So, guys, I just wanted to check in tonight. I have one more thing on the agenda before I go off. Is there, perhaps, please, anyone who's watching this broadcast who is willing to go on with me in even for 1 minute, where I'll just I'll put you up in the corner of the screen over here and have a test of the split screen feature with bringing someone else on. Is there someone who's willing to give that a try? I would really appreciate it if you're sitting in a place that's not too embarrassing for you and your phone has a good connection. I would love to bring someone on right now if you're watching in HAPS and the native app, just to see how the feature works, because as I said, I'm getting used to HAPS and I have a lot of ideas of content that I would like to share with you, including teachings. Excuse me. But I would love to hear your guys' thoughts about what kind of content you would like to see shared on this channel. I want to hear your ideas. Please let me know in the comments. You can message me on Twitter. You can comment on YouTube. You can email me, aaron@tourguideaaron.com. Hey, Violente from Periscope, now on YouTube. Violente, you're my first YouTube comment in a HAPS stream. So thank you. Now I see what that looks like. And sure, I remember you from Periscope days, and I'm glad to see you here on HAPS. If you haven't already, go sign up for the HAPS app and download and make an account, because this is going to, I think, replace the content that I used to do on Periscope. Bobby Blecker helps out a lot. Reach out to her if you need to. Okay, thank you very much. So, yeah, I would love to hear from you guys. Marianne says if she wasn't driving. Okay, maybe next time. If I don't get someone this time, maybe next time, if you're available, you can come on. Like I said, I'd love to hear what kind of content you guys would like to see. What I'm thinking now is just, every day I try to learn to study some Torah topics for at least an hour a day, usually in the morning before and or after the morning prayers. Right now, before the morning prayers, I'm studying some esoteric teachings, like Kabbalistic kind of teachings, which I don't really think they would go over well on this kind of platform. They're a little bit too advanced, and each sentence would just require a lot of unpacking to explain it. Yes, first YouTube comment, Violante. But then after the prayers, I'm studying now the book of Mishle, which is Proverbs, and in English it's called Proverbs. I'm thinking maybe to every day or a few days, maybe speak a little bit about the topic that I'm studying, about the book of Proverbs, and see where that goes. I don't know how many people there are here who read Hebrew. Of course, many of you know that my wife, Miko, wrote a book called Learn to Read Hebrew in 6 Weeks, which is now the #1 bestseller on Amazon for Hebrew language instruction. So if you don't know how to read Hebrew, you can learn very easily with her book. But what I would love to do is, just like I did the split screen with the sort of slideshow of photos from my trip yesterday, I would love to put up on the screen the Hebrew text of whatever topic we're studying, and then go through with you and read and translate and answer questions and explain to the best of my understanding the meaning of whatever text we're studying. I love to teach Torah. I teach Torah also in my community, in real life. And my favorite thing is to teach text. I like to teach text because I think when you teach text, it anchors you and keeps you honest, let's say, to the concept that you're teaching. When I know for myself, when I speak extemporaneously, I could veer off into all kinds of ideas which may or may not be correct. And so I love very much I love to teach text, like the Bible, like the Mishnah, like the Hasidic writings. Hawaiian Brian says that sounds like it would be very interesting. Please do it. Okay, so I have one vote to do that idea. Marianne was blessed by her Hanukkah teaching. Torah study would be tov. That's 2 votes. Marianne, thank you very much. So I will definitely consider that. The Hebrew scripture is something that I've been studying my whole life. Some parts I've studied more in depth, some parts more superficially. But this year, I've started every day to spend at least half an hour to an hour in more intensive study of the Hebrew scripture, including historical background, including where it's relevant, geographical information, some of the medieval Jewish commentators, some of the modern, more, I don't want to say critical, but the commentators who are more concerned with the historical aspect and the language aspect and the geographical aspect of the text and the context of the text. And I'm trying to basically restudy through what we call the Tanakh, which is the Hebrew scriptures, with the benefit of the knowledge that I've gained in recent years as a tour guide of the history of the land of Israel, the geography, etc. And I would love to share some of that with you guys in real time. Some kinds of topics require a lot of preparation, like maps and charts and things like that to teach it properly. But what's good about the text of Proverbs, Mishle, is that it's all ethical teachings. There's very little geography and history involved in it. So it doesn't really require the same kind of preparation of the presentation to present it. So I may get started with that. And I'm glad to see that there's some encouraging comments from some of the people that I know from Periscope going back, about 5 years already. So I think that's it. If there's not anybody who's willing to try to come on at this point, hold on. We have one more troll to mute. Thank you very much, Noor Aldin. All right. Now he's muted as well. All right, guys. So shalom to you. God bless you. It was really nice to see some names that I've known for years. Brian, Midian, Isa, Cheryl, Cynthia. Who else was here? Bobby Lancaster, Marianne. Who else we had here? Violante. And even the trolls are sort of like a blast from the past. So, so I really appreciate that. And it was very nice. And I look forward to coming on again soon. Maybe even I will see you tomorrow before Shabbat. Shalom and God bless you from Israel. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe.